Hi, hi, hi. How is everybody doing this morning? Everybody's good. Welcome, welcome, Zoom friends. Welcome to our friends here in the sanctuary. Very happy to be here with you. I struggle with creating talks. In that, so many ideas pop into my head while I'm sitting there 20 minutes before I'm supposed to get up here and talk to you. Now, I've got bullet points all over the place here, but this happens to me every single time because when I hear a song, it prompts something. When I hear another song, it prompts something else, right? So you never know what you're going to get with me, is basically what I'm saying. And that's kind of exciting. But please know, I never know what I'm going to get from me either. So we're just all on the same page, right? My idea today was to talk about, we're 3 weeks into 2025 already. I can't believe it, but we are. And what are we going to do this year to make things better? What are we going to do for the next few years to make things better? To make our lives not just tolerable, but to make our lives exciting, to make our lives filled with love and acceptance and all that stuff. What are we going to do? Are we going to sit back and wait for others to do things to make things better if we don't think that they're better now? Or are we going to do something about it? And that led me to thinking about the 5 unity principles. We come here every Sunday. Well, I don't come here every Sunday, but I come here at least once a month. This month I was here twice a month, right? And we repeat the 5 principles every week. Yes?
Yes.
What do you do with them when you go home? Do you do anything with them when you go home? Don't answer me. I don't want to know. I don't want you to confess. Nothing like that, okay? But I want you to think about it. What are you doing with the principles that you say every week? Now, the 5 unity principles can be narrowed down. It's a great, I use it a lot, a great mantra. God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. Okay? God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live. Remember that last one, boy. Because you know what living means? You're demonstrating it out there with the earth people. Okay? There are wonderful people out there. But not everybody understands where we're coming from when we talk about these unity principles, right? It's our job, I feel, if we have a purpose, if we're going to have a purpose in life, it's our job to go out there and demonstrate what it looks like. Yesterday, I ran into a group of friends and we were talking and somebody confronted me about something and it pushed a button. My buttons don't get pushed very often. And it pushed a button yesterday. And I wasn't exactly the sweet little Kathleen you see in front of you right now. And I felt terrible afterwards. And one person came up to me afterwards and she said, you know that wasn't you, right? The person had been confrontational about something I had nothing to do with. But that didn't really matter, right? In the moment, I reacted. And I'm standing in front of you now kind of throwing it out there because I really wasn't demonstrating any of those principles in that moment. I took ownership. I apologized to the person and to the people that were around at the time. It's not really a big deal, but it felt like a big deal to me in that moment. I don't like that. I want to demonstrate these things out in the world. I want people to see how it can be. So what I'm getting at is using these 5 principles, demonstrating that takes action. So if we want to have an exciting way of life, we have to take action in all of this stuff, right? I found a few quotes from some people about action. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. It's from Joel Barker. Bradley Whitford said, infuse your life with action. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. Not by passively waiting for grace to come down from upon high, but by doing what you can to make grace happen. That's what I'm kind of talking about, right? Don't sit back and wait for other people to fix things however you think they should be fixed. Remember Yoda? Mm-hmm. Do or do not. There is no try. There is no try. You know how many times I have to bite my tongue when people say, I'm trying. Right? I'm trying. Yeah, no. Yoda says no. I don't say that. And it's true. At times, that's all we can do is give our best effort. We can try. But, we just do it. We give it our best efforts. And the results come as a result of the best efforts. God gives every bird a worm, but he does not throw it into the nest. That's a Swedish proverb. I love that one. Okay. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about the 5 principles in general. And I want you to just keep in mind that we're talking about taking these principles and putting them into action. Okay? So the first one, and I used a different version of the 5 principles. You may find these familiar for those of you who were around when I was the spiritual leader here a few years ago. These are the ones that we used to use, and I find that they work for me. Yours are fine, and they all say the same thing. But if you checked out 10 to 20 different Unity websites, different Unity locations, you would find 10 to 20 different versions of the 5 principles. So that's how many there are. Anyway, God is that first principle. God is absolute good, everywhere present. Now, I don't know what that means to you, but I can tell you what it means to me. It means that when I'm out in the world and I'm seeing something I don't like, God is present. Yeah. Did you hear that heavy sigh? Yeah. God is present in everything. Do I believe that? Do you believe that? Right? Are there exceptions? Well, maybe there have to be. I'm seeing people be mean to each other. I'm seeing divisiveness. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that. The Unity principle says God is absolute good, everywhere present. I use that to see something from a different lens, right? I use that maybe to say, gee, I wonder what made that person so angry. What happened to them in their lifetime that made them this way? That brought them to this way of thinking, to this way of acting, right? You got to do it quick, right? Because sometimes in the moment, those buttons can get pushed, as Kathleen found out yesterday. Yes? But God is absolute good, everywhere present. Extremely, extremely helpful in times of stress, I think. Now, if any of this doesn't ring true for you, I do not want anyone to worry about it at all. The idea here is for me to invite you to go home and to think about it, to question it. What do I really believe? Do I really think this? Do I really think that? Well, Kathleen said this, but I'm not sure that's right. You can disagree with me all you want. I want you thinking about it. Okay? Second principle, I am. Human beings have a spark of divinity within them, the Christ spirit within. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are also inherently good. What? If I'm out there in the world and I'm seeing people acting a way I think they should not be acting, is it helpful for me to remember that they're inherently good when they're not demonstrating it to me? Well, sometimes it helps me. I can't speak for you. I don't know about you, but it does help sometimes. when I am seeing someone who is very angry with me for something I did not do, like what happened to me yesterday, right? I did not in that moment remember the Christ presence was within her as much as it was within me, right? Because it helps me when I'm with somebody and I can say, the Christ presence in me acknowledges the Christ presence in you, no matter how you're acting, no matter how you're demonstrating, right? These are tools that I have access to. I just have to be willing to use them. Have you ever heard of somebody having a spiritual toolkit, right? You got to open it up. You have to be willing to use it, right? Some of you know that I work with people in active recovery. They were addicted to substances, alcohol, whatever the addiction is, and they're actively working a program, and they're trying to recover, and they're trying not to be addicted to whatever it is that they were addicted to before, and we talk about this a lot. Did you call your sponsor when you were thinking about drinking? That's my question to them. And the answer 9 times out of 10 is no, because I knew what he or she was going to say. And it's true. And I think that's true for any of us facing any challenge whatsoever. I sometimes don't reach out for help because I'm not sure I really want to hear, Kathleen, you have to be the bigger person. Right? Kathleen, you need to make the apology. Kathleen, you need to, but I do pick up the phone and call for and ask for help now, even if I don't want to hear what the answer is. But that is a very understandable human response. Yeah, they're going to tell me not to drink, and I'm not really sure I want to hear that right now. Right? That might be the answer that they give me, and we work from there. But it's something to think about. Yes? So human beings have that spark of divinity. We talk about the Christ presence within us a lot in unity. No exceptions. I can't stress that enough. And it drives me crazy when I remember that. Honestly, I'm being as transparent as I can be here because I don't see it all the time. I see chaos, I see anger, I see violence, I see disruption, I see uncompassionate responses. I don't know what the right word is, but they're not compassionate responses, right? I see all of that. And yet in my heart, if you ask me what I believe there are no exceptions. I do not believe in a power greater than me that created us to be different from each other to the point where some are right and some are wrong. I just don't see it. It doesn't compute. But it doesn't mean that I have to go out there and try and convince everybody either. I can just show by my example, right? We can lead by example in how we live and how we choose to be with each other. Okay. Have you ever heard of the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of unity? Mind, idea, expression. Divine mind has all of these divine ideas. We grab onto one, which is the idea itself, the divine idea, and then we express it. Mind, idea, expression. Right? That's how unity talks about the Holy Trinity. So those first 2 principles about God is and I am is about mind. God mind, divine mind, however you want to call it. Principle number 3, human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. I can get the second sentence a lot faster than I get that first sentence. Human beings create their experiences by their activity of their thinking. Did I really create this world? Did I really do this? What was I thinking? If I created this, right? Now, there's a lot. I could go a lot deeper, but it's not fair to do that in 20 minutes because, then you're left here going out of here with your head shaking. about collective consciousness and what about the evil that we think we're seeing and all this other stuff. I don't want to go too deep with you here. That's something you can do at home. You can look into it. You can see where meditation takes you, but just remember this possibility, consider it a possibility that we are creating our experiences by the activity of our thinking. I know that the longer I'm in unity, the better my overall life experience has become. I became a licensed unity teacher, then I became a licensed unity minister. It's grown, I continue to grow, and I continue to change. And one of the reasons that happens is because I am still willing to consider the question, do I still believe this? Have I changed? Do I think it might be something different? That's my invitation to you today. Over and over and over again, keep asking yourselves. The other principle under the title of idea is prayer is creative thinking. I pray. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind, therefore brings forth wisdom, healing, prosperity, and everything good. Pay attention to this part where it says it heightens the connection with God-mind. It does not say it connects me with God-mind. It heightens the connection. Why is that? Why is that so important? Because we're already connected. We do not go into meditation to connect. And if you find that you're thinking that way, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to invite you to consider that maybe you're not connecting, maybe you're heightening your awareness of that connection. That helps me more than anything else. Right? I am 100% connected to the one power and the one presence in the universe. Okay. Am I sometimes 95% connected? Some days I feel 25% connected, right? But that doesn't matter. That's the human side of me. I'm still 100% connected. And the moment that I remember, right, in that moment of feeling disconnected, I go, oh yeah, no, I'm not disconnected. I immediately feel better, right? I remember my error thinking, and then I go in the new direction. It doesn't happen overnight all the time, but usually it helps tremendously. Okay, so that's the idea. I think and I pray. The ideas start to come to us, those divine ideas that are available to all of us. And then it's about expression. So we have mind, principles 1 and 2. Idea, principles 3 and 4. Expression, principle 5. My favorite principle of all, my friends. Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, are not enough. A person must also live the truth that he or she knows. Do you? That's the question you take home with you. Do you live the truth that you know? If you are fearful, do not beat yourself up. If you are angry about something, do not beat yourself up. We are having a human experience. We're going to have all of these reactions, right? But the truth is that knowing these principles, I want, not need, I want to go out in the world and use them, demonstrate them, express them as best I can. Because the more I do it, the better I get at it. And the better I get at it, the more people that see it. And the more people that see it might actually pick up on it, and they might go in a certain direction as well. Again, pebble in the pond. Watch the ripples of the water go out. Right? Talking about action, and I was going through my old notes, and I came up on this story about the person who was struggling. There was a hurricane, and the waters were flooding the house, and the person was praying, God, please help me, help me, help me. And a rescue team came by the house and said, you need to evacuate now. And he said, nope, I prayed, God's going to help me. And the rescue team left. And then he went up, had to go up on the roof of the house, right? Because the floods were coming and a boat came by and he said, nope, God's got it. A helicopter came by and he said, nope, I'm good. And he drowned. And he passed on. He met God at the pearly gates, and God said, so why didn't you take the rescue team, the boat, or the helicopter? He said, I thought you answered my prayer. I did. I sent the rescue team, the boat, and the helicopter. So I remember that it's about taking action, right? It's about saying yes. Like, why not believe that my higher power sent that rescue team for me, right? If God is everywhere present, God's with the rescue team, the helicopter and the boat and everything else, right? We talk about unity principles and things like that. You guys say them every week, and I just want to throw this out here before we go into meditation. It is something that you probably know a lot about. It is something that you've probably studied for a long period of time. But you are not the same person sitting here today hearing my words that you were last week, last month, last year, or last decade. We hear things differently as we continue to mature, to grow spiritually, to change up our practice, and so on and so forth. So I encourage you, instead of, don't go home and say, yeah, I've heard all about that already. I want you to see where you're at this week. Ask the questions. Be willing to demonstrate it. Be willing to take action. And let's see what we can do for our communities, for our neighborhoods, for our state, for our country, for our world. Let's see what we can do. Are you willing?
Yes.
And so it is. Amen. Let's take some of these ideas into meditation and see where you end up. I invite you to get comfortable wherever you're seated. Begin by taking several deep breaths, just to relax. Feel your muscles relaxing with each breath that you take. You may close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And may the words that I speak now be the words of your own heart. Today we reflect on the clear vision, the powerful words, and the courageous actions of leaders such as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I am clear that one person's example can inspire so many others. I am that person. I move beyond thoughts of limitation and focus on the possibilities for good that are always present. This divine universe supports me with new opportunities. I listen to divine guidance, and I become aware of how to take action steps. I have done this before, and the universe simply aligns in support of my willingness to move forward. I am no longer willing to sit passively by and wait for others to do things for me. I infuse my life with action. God is. I am. I think. I pray. I live. Take these thoughts into the silence. God is absolute good, everywhere present. Human beings have a spark of divinity within. Human beings are inherently good. We create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. Prayer heightens my awareness of the connection to God mind. And today I am committed to living the truth that I know. I take action. And I trust that the results are for my highest good. And so it is. Amen. Before you open your eyes, please take a couple of deep breaths. Returning to this place and this time. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Welcome back, friends.
Thank you, Kathleen, for speaking from your heart to ours. That's when the words just come. We have in our mind what we're going to say, and then our heart opens up and it says something else. Okay, now it's time for our prayer requests. Affirmative prayer and meditation have been a part of the Unity teaching since the movement began 130 years ago. You can email your prayer request to unityccm@gmail.com. This address is on the screen. All requests are confidential and prayed over here at Unity for 30 days, and then they're sent to Silent Unity where they're prayed over for an additional 30 days. Raise your hand and Iris is going around with the prayer requests.